Okay, so thank you for the introduction, and please apologize for these 1-2 minutes of silence before. Hopefully this will now not be the case anymore. What you should have heard before, but now we'll hear again, is just a short introduction. LineSmart is of course very well known to all of you, and we've been today we are really excited to give you an update about the current status of the light battery. We want to share with you the progress that we made in the last month and last year on our design, on our processes, and where we stand today. As Matthias already introduced, my name is Michael Geppert. I'm co-founder of LineSmart and responsible for technology here at LineSmart. I'm working in both fields that we currently have a lot of activity in. One is being the integrated business, where we take existing solutions and integrate them into our customer applications. We have a lot of activity here, and of course as well working on our own product, the light battery. And we want to start the update on the status of the light battery with a video that you most likely already saw the first sections of, and now we will show it again, and then hopefully we run this presentation without these glitches. So give me 1 second. Here we go again. So we've chosen this video because it shows many topics from our past design that we had in the maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and it also gives an insight into the current status that we have. When you see the battery packs at the end of the video, you can see our current design, and this current design we will also show and demonstrate to you today. So going forward here, again, summing up, and we want to tell you again why what are the key benefits of our technology, what are the key topics of the light battery of our product here. And I think the most important aspect and the most important topic of our technology is the cooling system. We are working with an immersion cooling system where we completely immerse the complete battery pack into a dielectric fluid. And by doing this in the right way, we basically enable an extremely high, ultra high performance of the cooling system. So this gives us the chance to take out a lot of heat of the battery, and this will help solve a lot of problems for the customer. And the most important aspect here, of course, is that this is for us a very important enabler for ultra fast charging. When going to ultra fast charging, we think we have 2 challenges to solve. One challenge is on the chemical side. The cells inside the battery pack need to be designed in a way on the chemical side to be able to accept the charging process. And the second important bottleneck is the thermal side. The battery cells will heat up in this process, in the fast charging process, and getting rid of this heat and taking it out of the battery pack is one key bottleneck on the road to fast charging, and especially ultra fast charging. And we think that with our technology and our solution, we enable ultra fast charging, and we basically give the technology and the ground to enable ultra high fast charging rates. Another benefit for the customer is not only during the charging, very high power is possible, but also during discharging, high power rates are possible in a very repeated way. So there is less need for derating, as the cells can be kept in an adequate temperature range because we have the possibility to remove any excessive heat from the battery pack. At the same time, we achieve a very high energy density with our design. We're using very high energy density cylindrical cells, 21700 format. They are state-of-the-art, latest state of technology, and we start with cell energy densities of up to 270 watt-hours per kilogram. And on supercell level, so this is the first building block in our design, on supercell level, we achieve up to 240 watt-hours per kilogram. So very high energy densities that are very important for today's application. Last point I want to mention here is the flexible design and setup. I will come back to that later. It also helped us in our current project a lot. So we have the possibility in our design to be very flexible in different dimensions. As you can already see in our CID drawing here, we are able to change the size of the battery pack in multiple dimensions. This was also shown in the video. So for us in our design, it's easy to scale in the width of the battery pack, for example, in the height of the battery pack, and also we are very flexible in the length of the module. And in this way, we can easily adapt to application rooms, to new building spaces, and be very quick in the adaptation to a new project. After a short update, we now want to give you an update about the different targets that we achieved in the last month. And many of them have already been announced publicly via messages, but I think we are really proud of for many of them, and want to share with you again what happened in the last month. Of course, very important for us was the closing of a contract with a tier 1 supplier, and the contract basically had the inclusion that we will use the light battery in a very demanding vehicle environment. So this was the first light battery application in a very demanding vehicle. So it is a more than 80 kilowatt hour battery pack with 390 kilowatt of discharging power and 150 kilowatts of charging power. We successfully implemented the light battery into this vehicle, which was a very challenging thing to do. The timeline was extremely, as always, was extremely short, but we managed to do so successfully. And this was a huge team achievement where we are very proud of our team, what they achieved in this very short time frame. And we not only delivered the modules into the systems, but we also delivered the relevant battery systems engineering processes and products. So for example, not only the modules were delivered, but also the BDU was designed by LionSmart. The cooling circuit was designed by LionSmart and built up and delivered by LionSmart. We used our own in-house BMS system to be used in the vehicle, which is also a very huge achievement for us. It was also very important for the success of the project, as this light battery design that you can see here builds on a very specific specific cell measurement chip, and we have informed about this in other presentations. And the cell measurement chip basically needs a special implementation in the BMS system, and we were very happy that we had the capabilities of developing and building BMS systems in-house, because only this way we were able to deliver the system in the given time frame, to be very fast for the customer, be very reactive in case of challenges which always appear. And so we are very happy with our BMS team and what they achieved in this short time frame. We successfully completed. I think this was announced yesterday. So we completed the project successfully. So we ran through module validation, we ran through battery system validation, all according to the requirement of the customer. And the modules and battery systems were successfully integrated into the test vehicles. The test vehicles are running as we speak. And this was a huge success for LionSmart. Very important in this course, of course, we established a small series production in our headquarters in Garching, and There we produced up to date, I think these numbers are outdated again. We produced more than 900 supercells. We produced and delivered more than 80 modules. And this has been a tremendous success and also a very, very important step for LionSmart to go into this direction. There's a lot to be learned, and we did a lot of, we built up a lot of experience producing these cells and modules for our customers. And as of we speak today, right now, the production is still running. We're producing more modules at the moment for our customers. A couple of information, very short information about the production state module. What you can see here on the left, you can see the basic building block, the 21700 cell that we use as the smallest building block. From these 21700 cells, we build our so-called supercell. These are processes that we all established and developed in-house. So basically all the parts come from designed by LionSmart, and we developed the assembly processes in-house. We then further go on stacking these supercells into modules. And the module is, of course, the big black body that you can see on the bottom here. This specific module that you can see here is a 17S 46P variant. It's based on 21700 cells. Has a nominal voltage of 62.7 volts and a nominal energy content of 14.2 kilowatt hours. It's built for ultra high power, so we can discharge up to 6C and have no issue with getting the heat out of the system. One important aspect is, as we said, is that you can basically, or we can very quickly adapt this design to different applications. This is one big opportunity of our system. For example, you can imagine that this system can be delivered to customers in shorter variants if it's necessary for the application. So, for example, instead of 17S, it would be a very, very quick change in production to change, for example, to 6S. Or maybe 12S, or only half the size of this module. All of this is possible, and we have the machinery set up in our headquarters in Garching now. A couple of more impressions from production. We also have prepared a video, so maybe just a couple of things. I think it's best to show the video first. The production site was established in our LionSmart headquarters in Garching in Germany. And as I stated before, we had the successful production of more than 900 supercells and 80 modules. And we collected a couple of impressions for that. Just give me a second, please. What you can see here is a plasma treatment. I will talk about it in a second. We have all the gluing set up and developed in-house for producing the supercells, and also the welding of the supercell connection, the electrical connection, the end-of-line inspection. All of these processes happen in-house at LionSmart, were developed at LionSmart and established over the last month. Maybe a couple of comments on the technologies that we use. We use automated welding on in our workshop, and the plasma treatment, for example, is necessary to establish the required strength of gluing surfaces. So this plasma treatment that I just showed you is cleaning the surface, and we established these kinds of processes now over the last month, and are happy to use them, and basically have found our way of producing these supercells and modules on our small series scale quite successfully now. What I really want to mention here is, again, a big thank you to our team, because especially in the last half year, there were many challenges in the global situation regarding with COVID-19 and everything that is connected to it. So setting up a production in this environment with all the challenges that come from it, with all the different aspects that you have to look for, and the compromises that have to be found every day was a challenge, definitely. But as we have a really great team that we are proud of, everybody found a solution, and we quickly found solutions. And so a big thank you to the team at production. for this great effort. Not only we did produce the modules, but they also had to be validated, of course, and we performed a lot of validation and testing, as you can imagine, on these parts over the last month. We included a couple of those validation tests here in the slides. Just briefly, what we have here is the UN 38.3 test. For anybody who is familiar with these topics, UN 38.3 is a very important milestone, as this enables and allows these products to be transported on public roads. Lithium-ion batteries need to have those kind of certificates to be allowed to be transported. This test series includes altitude simulation, it includes thermal testing, vibration testing, very severe shock testing, and also external short circuit testing. And our supercell design was undergoing this test series and was passing it successfully. So this was an important milestone for us, and we're happy that everything worked according to our plan. But not only the transport is important, in the actual application in a vehicle, the battery will see vibration, it will see shocks from crash situations, etc. And this is why these aspects also need to be tested. What you can see here is our module on a vibration test system, our module in a crash test sled actually being tested for a crash shock pulse. When we do these tests, we orient on the typical standard and regulations that are available. One important is, of course, the ECR 100, which is the basis for homologation processes in Europe and other parts of the world. Basically, this will allow these modules or batteries tested according to these specifications to be used inside vehicles on public roads. And this is why we use this as a very important basis for our validation testing. Additionally to the ECR 100, of course, we use customer-specific requirements, and especially in the automotive industry, they sometimes, or most of the times, exceed the requirements from the legal regulation. Again, here we brought a short video. Just starting this right now. I hope you can see this. So what you can see here is a crash test. We are very happy that it's actually, yeah, it's a boring video, so to speak, and this is what we're really happy about. This is a crash test with high G forces, as it would happen in a actual vehicle crash. And this test is necessary to enable a module to go into a vehicle setup. And what is tested here is basically this big metal tank is basically driven against the wall and with a certain speed, and then the G forces are acting on the module, and it's checked that it's not leaking, that it's not having any short circuits, breaking, etc. And this test was also succeeded. It was done successfully. Very important aspect, of course, of our system is the performance, electrical and thermally. And also all of these tests that have been done have been passed successfully and according to the requirements of the customer. You can see an example set up on the left here. Basically, what we do is we set up these modules with many sensors. As we have our own BMS built inside the battery, we need to check that the measurements, the voltage measurements of the BMS are correct. So this is being tested by voltage sensors. We are checking that the temperature measurement and the temperature distribution, the cooling is working correctly. For that, we bring a lot of temperature sensors into these modules, and this way can validate that our battery is doing what it should do. Electrical performance testing was done up to 390 kilowatts of discharging power, 150 kilowatts of charging power, repeated acceleration profiles, etc. And everything was according to our expectation. So to close, a couple of status points again and important next steps. As I stated before, the successful completion of the application of the light battery in a vehicle is a big step forward for LineSmart. We see it as a very big step forward for LineSmart, as we enabled many processes, and especially our production in the course of this project. And we generated a lot of highly valuable data, validation data. We gained a lot of experience for the production. We have seen many topics that just happen in real life applications, and we're able to solve many challenges. And so we are proud that this step was completed successfully. One thing that we saw is that the design of our supercell really allowed for a very quick adaptation. Before we started the project, for example, our design was having a 34P configuration of the supercell. The project demanded a different capacity, and thus the supercell design had to be changed. But as we have a flexible setup in our supercell, this was achieved in an acceptable time frame. And so we were able to update to 46P to a higher capacity of our supercell. The second important aspect of our design was also very important for the success of the project, is that we had the chance to build very slim battery packs of less than 100 millimeters of height, which was important for this specific project. And we were able to do so because of our design. We established an energy density of 246 watt-hours per kilogram on supercell level, and these were important characteristics for the project. All the very challenging application requirements could successfully be met, and we are happy with the results on the thermal and electrical performance of the systems. One thing that we started on our site is the optimization design loop, as we gained a lot of experience now with these steps. We've seen also some steps for improvements that are now being integrated into the design, and the main focus, of course, being on industrialization and cost reduction of the design. So on this slide, or on this point, I want to thank everybody involved in our team, as they really showed their best side on many challenges that arose during the last month. As always, when working on the critical time frame, and of course, we also want to thank you, our shareholders, for your interest today, and also for your interest in LineSmart. And as we have a couple of minutes left, now would be a chance to answer some questions if they are open at the moment. So thank you all. Thank you very much for your interest. And if there are some questions, we can have a couple of minutes for them.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the overview, for the update on the light battery and the status. I saw we got some questions in the chat function, mainly related to the watt-hours per kilogram, which to my belief you answered. Again, on the last slide, the question popped up in the earlier stage of the presentation. Also, you touched base on the question on the series production. And yeah, so for the moment, thanks again. Thank you very much for this overview. What I want to bring to all of your attention again at this point is, please feel free to reach out to our investor relations mail address. If you have any questions, you're more than happy to answer them. So having that said, thanks everyone for joining. Miguel, thanks for the presentation, for the overview, and I wish everyone a very pleasant afternoon. Talk to you. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone, and have a good afternoon. Bye.